Hello manga and anime lovers, I'm Branch, and today I'm going to be talking about Dandadan episode 6. Man, this was a good episode. Not as good as the last episode, mind you, because the last episode is my golden standard for all episodes of anything going forward. But still, it was really good, and I really liked it, especially because it continued a lot of that slice-of-life moments with comedy and a little bit of drama in between while we focused on this new character, whose name I can't remember, but she reminds me of Boa Hancock from One Piece, so I'll just call her Boa for now until I get her name down. And speaking of One Piece, we have the legendary Golden Balls to focus on this episode, which is very reminiscent of a lot of jokes and innuendos in One Piece, especially Skypiea. That's when I learned that Golden Balls in Japanese is their version of Family Jewels. So I found this episode really, really hard to not sigh and laugh at the same time. Whenever there would be a golden ball on screen, especially when pink-haired Boa picks one up, and it's just holy. The irony in that entire scene was just fantastic. It is funny without even pointing it out and being funny. But speaking of Pink Boa, this is basically her episode. We don't really do much with the other characters, aside from Turbo Cat Granny now, who is another standout this episode. I did not expect to like her as much as I do. She was very nuanced for the type of character she is, because it's not odd to see a former villain get reduced to like a sidekick or something, and they're always annoying and they want to get back at the main characters or the person who defeated them. But in Dandadan, Turbo Granny is actually very sincere and not at all as much of a grouch as you would expect her to be. Like, she still is a little bit sassy and she doesn't like the two main characters, but she's very honest in her approach, which I find interesting, and it just is indicative of Turbo Granny's true nature, or at least what she was when she was alive. And I'm starting to wonder what happened to make her this way, because, well, as we see in a short, like 1 second flashback midway through the episode with the new ghost, ghosts' personalities seem to be indicative of their most impressionable, or maybe their last moments as a human being, just turned up to like the 100th degree. So Turbo Granny being the way she is makes me really want to see her backstory, because oh my goodness, we're going to have a heck of a One Piece style backstory whenever that comes up. Man, I'm talking about One Piece a lot in this episode, probably because there's no One Piece chapter this week, but that's neither here nor there. Getting back on track, Pink Boa, I didn't really like her last episode. I mean, I liked what she did for the episode, and I liked everything about that scene, but she was she's not a great person. But as soon as this episode started with her, I don't remember if it started with her, but as soon as she came on screen talking about how she's too pretty, that's it. I immediately love this character now. At first I thought it would be ironically, but no, she is a very likable person in that she is kind of dumb, but she is extremely earnest and naive, even if she's also a bit of a jerk in between that, and she looks down on everybody. She's very prideful, but she has a interesting sense of justice, and she is unflappable. I have to give that to her, because she challenges what she thinks is a demon head on and attempts to exercise her. Shout out to her two friends who have her back, and dang, they really got the short end of the stick when Momo destroyed them. But I just really like seeing Pink Boa being so obsessed with defeating Momo, and then when the ghost comes out, who she thinks is Momo's henchman, which, by the way, it was really creepy before we actually saw the ghost, when she was just looking into the field, telling her friends what she saw. I don't know, it gave me a little shivers. I think in a more horror-centric show, when the ghost actually appeared, it would be absolutely terrifying. I've seen short horror films like that and horror animations like that are really, really effective. I mean, even horror manga, Mieruko-chan is one of them. I'm pretty sure there's something like that happens in there. Anyways, I'm getting off track. But of course, this is Dandadan, so the ghosts aren't super scary. It's a bit creepy, but they have enough of a stylized design that it's not so off-putting that it makes you shiver. But then we get to the fighting portion of this episode, which I don't really have much to say about. I honestly don't care. I mean, it's fun to watch. I like watching it. I like seeing Momo and Okurun fight, but it's not something I'm super invested in, because it's not like the Turbo Granny. They're just going up against a ghost who is really strong for some reason. Now, when I learn more about this ghost backstory, something tells me I'm going to care a whole lot about her, especially from the snippet we saw. But this like frog person ghost hybrid is, I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. Especially because the animation of this episode is a lot more toned down from all the other episodes, which, this is Dandadan standards, so it still means it's better than 99% of other anime. But still, I think what irks me the most about the fighting in this episode is really a problem that's been present from the second episode, whereas these people are stupidly durable. They can take all kinds of damage and still be fine. And in a series like One Piece, that's fine because it's overly cartoony and it's made clear from the very beginning that, damage isn't taken too seriously. But in a show like this that's a lot more realistic, especially in like art style and everything, I don't know. It's a little bit, it doesn't quite sit right with me. With Momo, you can kind of explain it because she has psychic powers, even though they never show her using her psychic powers to lessen any blows, which I think would be a must-have in this situation. Like, they didn't do it with the alien in episode 2. And they really didn't do it in this episode when she was being swung through the walls and all that. Okunun, I can understand because he goes into his ghost form, so, that doesn't even faze me. That makes sense. But even Momo's two friends, like, dang, they would have been killed in a normal series. And it makes me, I don't know, it makes me a little bit hesitant in enjoying a lot of the fights. Like, I enjoy it for the spectacle, but now I can't really get into it unless it's all comedy or until they bring out the deeper heart of it, which I assume we're going to get in the next episode because we still don't know what's up with Pink Boa and with this girl, and I'm sure there's going to be a very deep reason for all of this, and I will 100% like both of these characters by the time it's done. Or maybe I'll just hate the ghost even more. Who knows? Also, one last thing, Okunun being more aware of Momo as a girl, it really tingles that romance sense in me. I'm excited for that part of the series to be ramping up even more. Anyways, that's really all I had to say on this episode. Another fantastic episode, standout of the season, that's for sure. It's edging closer to that Anime of the Year title, but Losing Heroine still has an edge on it a bit, mostly because its romance in the animation is absolutely mind-boggling. But really, I gotta finish now because I'm rambling on too long. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.